Well, I want to start out by saying there's a lot of how to fix it RV videos out there. And this is the one you really need to see. It's not a how to fix it video, even though I am fixing this one. This is my second one. This one's a Wilderness. The other one is a Wildwood. They're both made by Forest River. This one's a 2001. The other one's a 2002. And now, if you can see up at the top corner there, it dips down a little bit. There's a hole. It's underneath the rubber roof. Water got in and rotted out the particle board that they made the roof out of. And there's roughly a 2-foot diameter hole in this corner if it was round. Same thing with this other end. Right there in that corner, it's another big hole underneath the rubber roof there. Fortunately, it's not just a big gaping hole. It's got to at least leak through the rubber first. Slowed it down a little bit. You can see that this bottom board here, it's all rotted out. All the way down there, it's all rotted out. This doesn't look too bad there, so all the way up on this end it might be decent. They had an awning that went on above the slide out right there, and it filled full of water over the years, probably many times, and the only thing holding the awning on, there's the awning right there, and the rail that the awning slips into was just screwed to the aluminum. There was no wood behind it. It had a lot of screws, but it was just into the aluminum. And then the only thing holding the aluminum on was the pinch at the top where it tongue and groove or whatever is into the top piece of aluminum and staples at the bottom. And it eventually pulled out. And to make matters worse, I was loaning it to somebody, so they weren't paying any attention. Who knows how long it leaked. So, that leak, I'm sure, might have contributed to all of this initial leak. This piece of wood right here, which is a support for the slide out when it comes in, is half rotted and half not connected to whatever it used to be connected to because of rot, probably. I don't know, I haven't taken it out yet. This bottom board's rotted out. This, as you can see, this board on the bottom here is rotted out. I'd already replaced the inside of here is the bathroom. I'd already replaced that floor, but I didn't go underneath the tub or any of that stuff. I just did the part where you could. I mean, I'm gonna do a better job of it when I repair it this time, but then I just was making it get by. You can see this corner's rotted out too. Same thing, all the way up. There's probably a hole in this corner on the top. I don't know the real reason for the original leaks yet. I'm going to replace the entire roof. All this down here, rotted. It's kind of just cosmetic anyway, but now I don't know the history of this camper, but I do know it was 6 years old when I bought it. I don't know how many miles were on it, how many rough roads it bounced around on. But I do know the history of the other one that I repaired a couple of years ago. And that had not even 1,000 miles of road time on it. The rest it sat in a campground. And the 1,000 miles came at the end of the campground stay, not at the beginning. So just sitting in a campground for 6 years, the other one, let's see, from 02 to 08, yeah, 6 years. It developed leaks in the corners, in the back, and in the front. Just sitting. Not from shaking and bobbing and bouncing on a road. Sitting. I bought it brand new. I hauled it directly to the campground. It sat for 6 years and it started leaking. Now some of that I'm going to attribute to the potential. I bought it at a camper show. And I personally believe that now, I didn't then, the stuff they sell to you at a camper show is discounted in price, at least some of it, because they know they screwed up, and it's easier to sell it cheap and get rid of it than it is to start over and fix it or throw it away. And I believe that's what the deal was with my other one, and it might have been this one too. They cut the aluminum too short, and the edge molding didn't cover it right, and then it leaked, and then the rot and the wood, and it split, and then all the aluminum came loose, and it leaked worse, and it just continued on. And me not knowing the specifics about this kind of junk, I always thought it was a roof leak, so I'm putting roof sealer after roof sealer every year on the thing, and it's not fixing the problem. It wasn't until the wood got rotten on the corners so bad that the aluminum siding, you could push it in the corners, that I realized that's where the leak was. There's really no way to tell other than experience. Well, I got a little bit of that now. But nonetheless, like I said in the beginning, this isn't a how to fix it video, even though I am going to fix this. This is a recommendation to never, ever, ever buy one. Not a fifth wheel, not a regular camper, not a motorhome. They're junk. And if you want to know the story about campers and motorhomes, look up a guy called Latho's Law. It's like L-A-T-H-O, something like that. I spelled it in case you couldn't pick up the pronunciation very well, and I'm not sure I spelled it right, but Latho's Law, he's an attorney in Michigan. And look up his YouTube videos about RV and lemon laws. There are no protection for you. Lots of different reasons, but he mentioned that number one, like especially in the case of a motorhome, the chassis of a motorhome might be made by Ford, and then the camper portion of it made by somebody else, and then the refrigerator is made by somebody else, and the furnace is made by somebody else, and so on and so on. And it's not like a package deal. There's no one person to hold responsible, and there's just no laws to protect you. If it's broke, tough. They do have warranties, but once it's out of warranty, or if it's a repeat offender, there's nothing you can do. So I think they ought to be drawn and quartered for the shit that they're selling. And I just wanted to give you my side of the story.